And Patrick Gudauskas was number 4 on the North American QS and a former CT surfer. So you add up those accolades, he gets the call that every surfer would want to get. Not only do you get to come surf Ranch, but you get to do it in a jersey, and you could potentially play a huge role in who will be in the final 5 as we head up to the Rip Curl Finals. And here's live action of Patrick Gudauskas all the way from San Clemente, California, and already looking like he's feeling very comfortable here at Surf Ranch.
Yeah, very much so. You know, again, choice of equipment, going to an epoxy spine tech from Channel Islands. Can he pull this deep barrel?
Maybe a little too comfortable.
Yeah, and when you're in those deep ones, you know, you kind of have to find the little aerated bubble in there. And there was too much shoulder connected to the lip to kind of punch through that for Pat. Board looked great though. You know, it looked sparky under his feet. You know, that technology there exactly supposed to work how it looks. Just the unfortunate mistake there, not pulling the barrel.
You will have more opportunities. And you as surf fans watching from wherever in the world you're watching, we'd love to know. Post it up on your social medias. Kelly Slater, Griffin Colapinto, they all started with 1 point somethings. So you can recover. Kelly Slater currently sitting in second place with his total, and he's getting rid of a 173. So Pat Gudauskas can do that. What you don't want to do is go back-to-back with mistakes. And I am already loving the wind-up of Pat Gudauskas. Backhand looking super sharp.
Zesty.
3 laser-like tail-high snaps.
Whoa, is that a rail grab bottom turn?
I believe so. Just a quickie. Oof.
Wow.
5
solid.
big turns there.
Those windows went up quick, though.
You see he's kind of just filling space with power, which is totally fine because he's doing it with a lot of flow. Oh.
Here we go. In the barrel.
No, dangers. Danger, Will Robinson. That wave is coming fast, and you saw just that slight error was everything. Pat Gudauskas on the end of that wave.
Felt like a little indecisiveness in what was happening in the timing there.
I saw a rodeo flip being telegraphed.
Yeah,
I could see it in my mind.
Yeah, and then the section, it changed. Maybe he saw it a little too early. But I mean, up here in this top half of the section, zesty. There's so much spice coming out. That was a rail grab bottom turn. Beautiful stuff. You know, again, mixing it up, even off the bottom turn. Why not? Right there, a little wind up. And that was that little hesitation would put him off timing for the rest of the wave. Got the barrel, got the completion, you know, but the judges are going to notice that he didn't, you know, come out of the hole at the very end of it.
Mikey Wright coming through with replacing Kalohe Andino, who is quickly recovering from an injury.
Well, you remember the very beginning of the season, there was the surf off for the last spot, right? How cool was that? And unfortunately, he didn't get to win that one, but he did surf the entire season, so good on him.
Mikey Wright sharing this heat with his brother, Owen Wright. Fun little contest within the contest. I'm a huge fan of trick selection. Mikey Wright has so many cool
3
nuances.
different turns on the outside, all different angles of approach. The double hand, the single arm layback, the big whipping S turn. Wow, beautiful stuff.
He's really, looks like he's free. You know, he's feeling really loose. A really creative line.
Oh, the one moment.
Different type of, when I say greed, it's a compliment because that means you're pushing your turn to the limit. But just like we saw with a couple of the tube rides, trying a little, just a
little too long. And then, of course, the recovery is more difficult because that's the thing. You go into a rail turn like that, you want to hold it as long as you possibly can, but there's a speed and then a transition element that you have to do it at the right time. And if you push it too long, a mistake can happen. Unfortunately, that's exactly what happened there for Mikey. But I loved outside. Look at this. Big, nice arc to start, getting the momentum there. Double arm layback snap, and then the single arm layback snap. 3 different turns, variety. Setting yourself apart from the rest of the field. Nice barrel riding here, skills. Holding the speed well. Didn't want to have too much time in the barrel. He likes doing turns, and he went back out to the face and started doing that.
He is a purist's dream. I mean, any time, if you've ever attempted to do a double arm layback carve like that, you know how hard it is. He makes it look so easy. He makes it look so good. Has to be one of my favorite current turns in surfing.
And one of the things about that style of turn is to be able to retain the speed throughout it, right? I mean, it's probably pretty easy to just throw yourself into it, right? But it's way harder to hold through the turn, the arc, and hold the speed, and then transition back to your toe edge and keep that speed. I mean, he did it, the next section of that, where he did the layback snap and right into a bottom turn. That's the coolest look.
So fun to watch, and man, I would love to be able to do that. Well, we do have two brothers in this heat. If you ever had a question, if you ever had a resource to tap into, Owen Wright would be your guy. And
well, the whole Wright family, all the siblings have always been together and worked together, and they're so contrast in the styles they carry around,
Tyler Wright
walking
could
around.
Definitely give you some
but they're a super tight-knit group.
Well, this is a surfer that the second their hand leaves the rail, you get excited because you don't know what you're about to see. Mikey Wright, 2 big slams to start this wave off, building speed down the line. I like that he rides looks like a little bit longer of a board.
Oh,
and
man.
Yep, we agree with that sentiment. That is tough because unlike oceanic waves where you fall, you're underwater, and you can kind of just get back on your board and get back out there, you've got a long time to think about that fall. And while it's happening, it feels like it's in slow motion.
It does, especially when you're actually standing there and you watch that wave peel off without you, and know that was the one opportunity on your life. You only get, so each direction, you get 2 tries, right? And you have to score one of those tries no matter what. So that's what makes it challenging too, is it's not like you can get your 2 scores on one right, right and right. It's actually a right and a left count. So you have to do good scores on both.
The pressure is on. Welcome back to Surf Ranch. Owen Wright about to show us what he's got. We just watched brother Mikey with a couple errors, but he will have more opportunities. Now we see one of the best goofy footers currently on a surfboard on this planet, Owen Wright. Just picking up right where he left off last time we had an event here. Owen Wright was definitely a surfer that everybody had on their list. I'm sure most of you have him on your fantasy team, and he's paying you back for believing in him with a long barrel right there.
Owen really discovered what he's doing with his surfboards designs here at the ranch. You see some beautiful arcs once again. And I'll get back to that after this end section. It's all important end section.
Well, even though those turns were pretty similar, they were all awesome. And the one way to battle through the conversation of variety of major maneuvers is to do a bunch of similar maneuvers but make them all impactful like he just did.
Yeah, I mentioned the equipment thing is he ended up riding one of Matt Wilkinson's boards here that was much smaller than he was used to, and all of a sudden he was out there ripping, and now it's spurred a whole different design for his equipment. It is much shorter than it ever has been. He used to ride 6'2", 6'3" for shortboards. Now he's almost at 6 foot. And it's working and it's paying off. And that's that part of surfing. When you're on tour for as long as you have been, you need to refine and invent and reinvent. And that's what he's done. And wow, does it look good. Not one hitch at all throughout this entire ride. It literally was, the rails were just clean and precise. He didn't fall. It didn't look like he was rushed. I mean, all of that stuff. Complete package from start to finish.
And still radical. I mean, these are just fundamental style backside vertical snaps throwing, but the way he does them is just so perfect. It's so precise. Right where he puts his board, everything is just right in its proper place.
And there's acceleration out of it too, which is another part of it, right? Just the way to, you accelerate out of the maneuvers. Each time you're turning, you're getting a little something, a little extra squirt. You're pushing water out the tail. Well, and he's really good on the lefts, right, as well. So we just saw a backhand wave there. Solid. That's going to be a great number.
Well, the judges loving what they've seen so far from Owen Wright, a 7.20. That'll put him right up there in the mix if he can back it up here. Now on his forehand. Is it harder for a really tall guy like this to go backside or frontside on this wave?
I would say that it's a matter of the style and approach. I mean, I think that what Owen does is he compresses, and so he is able to make himself look smaller than he is and uses that to an advantage. So it's actually an advantage.
And I think
all that leverage.
He'll surprise you with how good he is in the air as well. You think of him as such a brilliant tube rider, a big, powerful, stylish surfer, but he will throw down when it comes to getting up
like
in the air.
On the edge. That was midsection too. Little layback, showcasing variety. What's he got for the inside section?
Oh, there's the build-up. Coiling it down the line. Big snap there. Big TP spray. Big triangle up into the air. Nice compressed tube ride. One finishing maneuver. Carving.
That was so hard to do.
I don't know if he grew up watching Corey and Shane Lopez.
Yeah.
But if he did, right there was a total shout out to the Lopez brothers. The way he slid the tail around.
And to hold the
Great
rail
finish.
With your legs just sizzling at that point, literally sizzling. That is the end of the left, and just to hold the rail and not buckle and somehow punch the fins out with a little tail roadie and pull it down. Such great rhythm on the left here. This is exactly what he wanted to do. He wanted to just put 2 numbers on the board. Now pressure's off. He can cut loose in run number 2. So well done for Owen. I mean, just a veteran. Look at this, all the way around. It is burning, sizzling somehow. Look at that, complete rotation.
Oh my gosh. If I could just do
and that's
one of
that
those
short board.
in my life.
His shorter board was able to kind of do that tighter transition. So again, equipment choice, impeccable.
I feel like sometimes, correct me if I'm wrong, does a shorter board give you a little bit more forgiveness when you're in a tight pocket like that?
Oh, absolutely. It's a shorter board. It's less rail line, so it fits in the pocket better. I mean, and that's why I think that, and you're taking paddling out of the picture here. So you literally just have to paddle into the wave and catch it. And all of a sudden you can ride a much lower volume board, and it's going to fit in the wave better. And if you're tall, like Owen is, it's actually an advantage.
Professionals, elite surfers, there's no waiting. You need to do something radical, straight into the 2.
Yeah.
If anyone can do it, it's this guy right here, 2015 WSL champion, Adriano de Souza, on the ultimate global retirement victory lap, whatever you want to call it. He's got a couple more events to go, but I tell you, I'm already missing Adriano on tour. I'm going to soak up every last heat I can get from this guy.
Yeah, and he's celebrating his achievements as a competitive surfer, and still many achievements to be had later in life, because life isn't all about competition.
That's
but
true.
It has been for a long time for Adriano. And now to give him that freedom to be able to just be loose and free and not worry about qualification or world titles and just rip the heck out of this wave, I can't wait.
This guy owns one of the best bottom turns in the business, and he uses it so well. Give himself such a great base to just tee off on the lip. Right now, his whole the whole Brazilian squad competing is all wearing jerseys that say De Souza on the back.
Nice, he's deep.
I forgot he was there. He was so deep.
And for a long time.
Now I can see his jersey. Adriano de Souza back at it.
The technicality that the judges are looking for in the barrel section.
I mean, he has not lost a step. It's almost like he's getting better.
Well, it's the freedom, right, of not worrying about too much and just enjoying it. You know, that's that expression. Oh.
Big.
And
I'll
watch
throw that
out.
a lip slide disaster for Adriano de Souza.
He's still going. And that was the epitome of his career right there. Literally going to not give 1 ounce of that wave left. He's going to rip it all the way to the cement.
And now it would not shock me after that last turn. It was so radical, so just sprite and youthful and energetic. If in his post-game interview he says, you know what, actually, let's go another year, I would not be mad at that.
No,
I would
of course
enjoy
not.
that. Because this right here is
It's
such
relevant.
a great look at just high-tech, solid, fundamental surfing. All the elements are there.
Technicality here. He's using both hands, stalling out, sitting on the foam ball right there. I mean, it was very deep, very technical. You know, his entry into the barrel, or again, the judges are looking for that. Look at this end section. Pops the lip up and over.
Boom.
You know, we've seen big airs attempted, but that was just a straight tail roadie
That was
out the
cool.
back.
Very cool.
And then, look, another section.
Bonus.
And then even a wrap after that.
Well, Adriano is one of the few surfers still on tour who has been through the Kelly Slater era, the Andy Irons era. He's thrived in all of those eras. Now he's, I would say, in the, you could say Gabriel Italo, John era. They're all kind of tied for this era.
Well, in these eras, he had a different role in each of these eras.
Definitely.
Right?
You know the rest of the guys on tour love him, no doubt. As a person, as a competitor, they're thinking, man,
Well,
thank
there's a
goodness
period.
Adriano's gone.
Yeah,
he
there's
is
a
hard
period.
to surf again. Will not go quietly into the night.
Yeah.
He wants to go out with wins. That is not Adriano de Souza. That is Yago Dora. That is right there, just a really cool sign of sportsmanship, of respect to Adriano, who while he was the second Brazilian world champion, was definitely the guy that kicked the door open for the Brazilian storm.
And I'll tell you, like, in surfing, that's one thing I think his surfing has always done, is it honors its legends always. And this is a way to do it.
And this does not, he's surfing like he's in his prime. It's pretty obvious with every turn that he's doing. It's not like he's retiring because he's lost a step.
Oh, slip. You wonder, wax choice, it gets soft.
Excitement. Even a veteran like Adriano de Souza can fall under that excitement spell and just get the muscle memory going, oh, snap, snap. This is so fun. And then you find yourself underwater.
And it happens in a split second. See the rhythm that he gets. There's one turn here that we get to with all the speed. That's it. Pick up some speed, so you have extra one, and then wham! Drift that fin out the back. All three of them, actually, not just one of them. See where the mistake happens here. Oh, yeah, just the transition, little slip.
You get a 7.6 on his right.
That's a good number.
That's a big number to start with.
I mean, the 7.83 is one of the highest that we've seen. We have seen no 8s yet. No one into the excellent range.
You don't hear a lot about Adriano de Souza's style, but when I'm watching him, I'm seeing, kind of some 70s elements with his arms, that nice, wide wingspan. I think he's underrated for his style. He built the stage with those first two. Now he's going to jump on stage and rock and roll.
Strategically sound. That's exactly what you want to do. Right, run one. You're going to get your two right and a left score, no problem. Now frees you up to go and get loose. I can't wait for run number 2.
Play your hits and then play the new song that everyone's going to love. Owen Wright.
Build it up, right? Here we go.
Well,
another standout here in the basin.
It's not going to stop all day. The excitement level builds every time we hear the waves start up, and when you see a guy like Yago Dora, who has been so on fire, continue to light up this basin, we are in for a competition. Look at that super stylish knock-kneed in the barrel. Somehow has the presence of mind to kind of switch his stance up a little bit. It's still attacking, driving down the line. Big turns for Yago.
It's interesting when you're in the barrel like that, and backhand, you see a lot of the surfers actually have to kind of pick their weight up and pull it up just because of the virtue of the wave.
That right there, beautiful. I would say Neil Purchase Jr.-esque. If you don't know who I'm talking about, do your research, because in terms of threading tubes like that, body positioning is going to be of utmost importance. And we've seen kind of, the pig dog, the three-point stance, kind of being the most stable way to do it. Your front arm kind of guiding you out.
Yep.
But what Yago is doing there is adding to the difficulty of his stance in the tube. By putting his feet up like that, I think the judges are going to give him a little bit of extra credit.
And see, turn number 2 outside, 3, and gets a 4th in before he heads for the barrel section. So extra turn on the outside portion of the wave. And then there you're talking about, see how he's utilizing, that's the technicality of the barrel. Look at the knee goes back, forward, just to try and control his speed.
How difficult is that to do?
Here's the air. This is difficult. With your legs burning as hard as they are to get that landing done. Just didn't quite get the full rotation out. He got that full rotation. It would have been an easier landing for him, but it kind of got the little stutter. But yeah, it's difficult to do, to be able to move your knee, backward and forward, and not have the board start to move too, right? You're moving all that weight, your board starts to wobble a little bit. You want to keep that thing steady, but being able to control the speed by moving your legs back and forth.
Yeah, we're right there with you. It's a fun way to celebrate. Parco did it. I believe Fanning did it. You announce your retirement at the beginning of the year, then every tour stop becomes a big party in your honor, and Adriano deserves that. And I love the gift that his fellow Brazilians have given to him here at the Jeep Surf Ranch Pro by representing his name on their jerseys. Those are going to be collector's items now.
Yeah,
I'm
for sure they will.
I'm going to have to keep my eyes on eBay and see what happens with these jerseys. Cause
those jerseys are, they're cool.
Only there's probably only 8 of them in existence now.
Yep. All right, so you look at what this guy can do on the lefts, and you expect him to do a bit higher risk moves on the outside section. That's what I've seen from him to get those bigger numbers.
Well, he basically made the biggest statement of his career early on, an CT event in Brazil as a wild card. basically showing the world what he's capable of. Not just a free surfer, he is a title contender. And he would be so dangerous if he got into the top 5 at the end of the year for the Rip Curl Finals. Him at lower trestles, doing things like that. Yago Dora has entered the chat, and he's still involved in this wave. Love a mid-wave air. What has he got on the inside?
Another
big
one.
Straight. Oh, that makes me so
variation,
happy.
right? So variation. There was a combo in the mid part of that wave, right, where he I'd say the outside was cruisy, right, a little bit, but then he got that extra speed where the combos came in, where he had the carve and then the wrap. This is after this one. So the double float, but then this combo right here, zap, right, straight into another one, zip. Beautiful stuff. Right there, 3 different types of moves, and then we get to see some aerial antics.
That was a bonus turn.
Wait, we forgot about those 2 nice carve combos.
Yeah, he's done already 8 turns, and then he does the big frontside air.
Frontside grab.
That is perfectly done.
Release, lands on the lip, rotates out. That's just
right there is
amazing.
A big score.
We haven't seen that today.
Yeah, right there's a big score. And then, let's not forget the dessert after that wonderful meal is a tube, and then another big air.
Combos. He packaged combos on that wave. Outside 3-turn combo, nice zippies. Then there was the carve, snap, late hit combo.
Well, for me,
barrel to air combo.
Score or not, that was my wave of the day. And I think the variation, of course, the style.
Right there.
Comes through.
Hey, you know what? We can move you right here from the commentary booth, right over there.
Well, that was an easy call. That was a really easy call for the judges. Because I haven't checked my fantasy team in about 20 minutes, and I can't remember. I think Yago is kind of always on my fantasy team. But this guy has found his way onto many fantasy teams. Out of relative QS obscurity, he is a big star in Australia, always has been, ever since he was a rookie. Did you expect Morgan Cibilic to come on the championship tour and do the damage that he's done?
To be honest, no. But I will say, if I actually looked at the facts, right, that I watched, because I got to watch his, and I watched his qualification bid. I got to go to these events that he did, and he is a big-time player in those big moments, in those big events.
Well, remember, we were right there, front row, Vans Triple Crown of Surfing when he made that qualification run.
And it started in Europe before that. He just hit those big events, and he did well in those big events. So, no, I should have looked at the tape, and it wouldn't have surprised me.
Just an instant veteran on the championship tour, Morgan. It's just Morgs. His Instagram handle, he's been a star of several surf films. He's already accomplished a lot at a young age, and this is our first look at Morgan in competition here at Surf Ranch.
And he's got a great sparring
so far,
crew he's
so
with,
good.
right? Matt McGilray. Another surfer that's in this event, Liam O'Brien, as we see the finish from Morgan Cibilic. Solid.
Solid.
Absolutely
I was just
solid.
going to say solid surfing, and that's what we always get from Morgan. No, not a lot of mistakes, great rail work, a lot of power.
But he also showcases those wow moments. I would say on this wave, I didn't get that feeling as much, but it was solid, right? He's going to get a number. The nerves are gone. I mean, this is an event, first time competing here. Probably only had his 16 warm-up waves, and that was it, and so you kind of have to map out a lot in 8 waves on the right and 8 waves on the left. Did well. This is a nice, solid wave, but I think now if he wants to build upon this, give us some of those wow moments. He did showcase the variety. He mixed it up with laybacks and snaps. Good barrel riding. Wasn't super deep, but solid.
Whatever board he is riding right now looks wonderful. It just looks like a magic board on his feet. So let's talk surfboards. We've got some inside information from Strider Wasilewski.
Well, we just watched that wave we just saw. It was on the Sharp Eye surfboard. He's on a dark arch though. He switched up to a little bit bigger, a 5.9.5. He was on a 5.9. He went for a little bit longer board, and so he could push it a little harder. He sat on the backhand. So we're gonna watch to see the performance and see how that board looks under his feet out here right now on the new Sharp Eye.
Morgan Cibilic, for now, just sitting on a mid-range score. A smart choice to kind of get the feel that wave out, but now he's got to get to work. He's got to remember that guys like Yago Dora, Kanoa Igarashi are sitting on high 7s, 8s. get yourself in the mix, speeding down the line, looking for something big. I love that these guys keep you guessing. You know, when they extend down the line, you gotta wonder what's going on in their minds with so much happening so quickly. That was a dangerous place to do a turn. I like it.
What's he got for us in this inside section?
Just kind of places a turn up there. Low in the tube. I still see him. Where is he? There's his head. He's gone. Great start. But was that a wave that you would put up next to Yago Dora's 8.5 as a contender?
Nah, I wouldn't. You know, the mistake at the end, the barrel. There was a couple moments too. I mean, I guess so that it felt a little disjointed at moments. But again, this is his first time competing in this event, and it's a whole different deal. You know, you get your practice times and everything feels great. You're like, oh, okay, that's a good moment. But packaging it up from the very start all the way to the very end is tough to do.
It is blazing hot in Lemoore, California, and the surf is still perfect and firing just like it was first thing in the morning. And it's time to see San Clemente legend, a positive vibe warrior, Pat Gudauskas, kick off his second run, opening up with a couple of turns on the right. He's got dad strength these days since we saw him last full time on the CT, building his beautiful family. Here he gets nice and deep. Beautiful line, comes flying out. Pat G with a great start on the opening section. Little fade, kind of just keeping his speed down the line. Now really attacking with that open face hook. Off the roof, little stumble there, but he's recovered well off the lip line. Now lining up this inside bowl. Pat G, super deep. Seen his board a bit there towards the end, but he has a beautiful end section to have the tail blow. Can't hang on to the finish. Pat G always brought so much creativity to the championship tour when he was competing full time against the top 34. I mean, specifically here at the Surf Ranch, one of the few guys to land a rodeo flip. And I always love that spontaneity. You never know what Pat's going to do next.
Yeah, Patty G, what a bit of injection of flavor into this event to have someone of his caliber competing as an injury replacement. I think it's such a great choice to put Patty in this event. I mean, we see him here back in the CT jersey. He's been here before. He knows what it's all about, but let's see if he can create some of that freedom now as an injury replacement.
So good to see how much he mixed it up and then capitalized on that hollow section of the pit. What happened on the finish for Pat G on down the line? Because he just had a little bit of a mid-step at the end of a really long wave.
That's so true. And we've seen it throughout the day. I mean, we've seen just these guys are putting every ounce of their energy into these waves. You saw that wave kind of taper off with the tempo, and then he had to kind of kick it up a notch as it started to get more critical. Patty G got into this barrel, sits pretty. Like you said, you can still see a little bit of his board, so it didn't get particularly deep, and then just doesn't get that full 180 as he goes down on that move.
Pat Gudauskas achieved a big performance at Bell Beach, getting to that semifinal performance in pumping conditions. Was so fired up and focused. He's brought us so many incredible highlights. No weaknesses when it came to competing on tour. Fearless charger, and even dabbled in the big wave tour. I remember one day he was all of a sudden in the Channel of Jaws, and I think it was his actually first time being there, but he has that kind of connection to putting it on the line. He absolutely sent it. I mean, I don't think there's anything that's out of the question for Pat G.
CT2 is just a little more intense. It's a little steeper. The wave takes its time to build up, and it allows the surfers to, I don't know, I think gives us more time to connect with the lip, and it just makes it steeper so that you can pull in and the timing's right.
Love it. Thanks for joining us for the call. Malia Ward, well, San Clemente, but living in Malibu these days, is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Watching this one with Pat G. Rosie, are you expecting Pat to go for the rodeo on this wave?
I mean, he might as well, right? Joey's got so much flair in his surfing. Like you said, he was one of the first surfers to really pull that maneuver out here at the Surf Ranch. So let's see if he can bring that same connection and find the section on the in bowl.
There's that explosive variety, and really risk that one, hanging it off the lip. but he had so much speed. He had a ton of time to get back into the open face. Beautiful backhand carve. There's the snap. So able to change it up on his backhand. Floats the first whitewater section. Looks like he's stalling. Looks like he will be attempting the rodeo and just misses the grab. You could see that stance starting to widen. We've seen him pull that so many times. I was hoping he was going to lay that one down, Malia.
Yeah, no cigar on that one.
He did one in Maldives on the QS level. That like kind of broke the internet. He actually did a version at small conditions in Tahiti. It was actually kind of a Gorkin rotation, but one of the rare guys that actually landed that consistently, and then obviously he landed one here at the Surf Ranch.
And that one in Tahiti, I think, was crucial for his career, to see him into qualification in that year. So, you know, Patty G knows how to bring something special out when the pressure's on. Unfortunately, like Malia said, no cigar on this attempt.
Malia, you've seen Pat surf your entire life, especially at lower trestles. What do you love seeing about his surfing?
Honestly, my favorite thing about Pat surfing is his smile. Like, he's always just in a good mood, like really happy, and just makes the time to say hello. Even at lowers when you don't really want to talk to anybody, you just want to get your waves.
Yes. Just makes you feel good.
I call it my fun box, like surfboards, skateboards, roller skates, DJ deck, you name it,
The
everything.
whole thing, you're ready to go. As we hear the hydrofoil in motion, Mikey Wright preparing. What's this part like, Malia, when you know it's your turn, you hear it's 30 seconds? Does your heart start pounding, or is it all
My heart rate
excitement?
rises a little, yes, Joe, it does. It's rising right now, just watching.
Pretty exciting moment for Mikey Wright. Injury replacement wild card since Kolohe Andino is still injured. Cool layback carve on the open face. Nice flow, but he's going to get caught behind. Malia, you've surfed this wave quite a bit. What makes that section so difficult to keep up with the pace of the wave?
Honestly, it's the timing of the turns and what you do before it. I feel like it has a lot to do with the flow, and also the offshore wind sometimes can get you. The barrel crumbles sometimes.
Interesting. We always talk about waves on demand. We've been breaking this down a lot today, Rosie, how sometimes that section can be a little bit different at times, and looks like Mikey got caught off guard there.
Yeah, Mikey, I mean, he's had a start in these events now all season long. He just kind of misses that barrel there, but like you said, there's just that kind of little variance in the wave, and he got kind of stuck there. I like the little toss to Nat Hoy, though, putting both hands behind his back on that layback.
He's one of the coolest characters on tour. Definitely follows the beat of his own drum. Everyone's warming up surfing. He'll surf and then go fishing just off the contest site. He was really fun to hang out with through the Aussie leg of the tour, but you can tell he's determined to get a big result this year. Such a solid surfer who had that unbelievable run as a wild card just a couple of years back. Well, now it's time to get to know the Gudauskas family a bit better. We'll send it down to Kaipo.
Yeah, that's amazing. It's really cool that we have the young and the old, or the new and the old, the veterans. I mean, my dad's a veteran as well. It's kind of fun we have that similar relationship where I'm like the Wardo up and coming, and he was the Wardo, you know, the legend Wardo.
So cool. Chris Ward, obviously longtime competitor on the highest level of the game, Pipe Masters finals, Snapper finals. Do you have a favorite memory of a contest where you absolutely love watching your dad compete back in the day?
Oh, for sure. There's many. One I can remember was Sunset Beach, the HIC Pro, I think it was. I ended up caddying for my dad, and the waves were like huge. It was just maxing out Sunset, like 15 feet. And he's like, yeah, just paddle up, be my caddy. And I'm like looking at Sonny Garcia and like all the boys, they're just looking at me like, where's your fins? Where's your other board? And my dad didn't even tell me that I needed a second board in case, because it would have been hard to swim in for sure.
Oh,
but Sunset, and he killed it in his heats. I felt like I was his good luck charm, and we were good teammates.
That is so cool. Not very many people in the world get to experience that with their dad, who's one of the world-class athletes in the surfing world. As we see that left running away from Mikey Wright down the line. Mikey wanted to finish off with a bang here, counting a 107 and a 3.93, Rosie.
Yeah, that's a tough run for Mikey Wright, and he knows it. Just that body language, obviously telling the whole story for us.
Happens to the best of us.
Let's see what happened here. Malia, first couple of turns look solid. The left is much different than the right performance-wise.
Oh, for sure. The left and the right, totally different. I mean, they're two different directions.
The risk involved in that big tail blow basically cost him the wave. I mean, for us, as an individual turn, that's one of the coolest turns I've seen today. But there is that balance of completing the entire wave and overall performance. Unfortunately, Mikey got caught behind.
Yeah, this wave, it's always going to be there for you. It's all about timing it.
Speaking of the left kind of specifically, as far as how to get high performance on it, is it easier to blow your tail out on the left or the right, or is it about the same?
That's a tough one. I feel like backside, for me, I'm on the left, so the left would be more fun to throw my tail and chuck it. The right's more for the barrel, of course.
As we know, this is a tricky time of the season, as we're already at stop 6 out of 8 for the regular season. So the pressure from 5 in the world, starting the day to have to get past number 4 in the world. Whoever wins that takes on number 3 in the world. Then whoever wins that goes to number 2 in the world. And then the final showdown is a best out of 3 series against whoever's world number 1 after Tahiti. So the whole script has changed, and that's going to be one day that I don't want to miss.
Sounds like an ultimate final battle with all the best.
What are the advantages seating-wise, Rosie, coming into that final stop?
Well, you think of number 1. They just kind of sit it out, wait for those lower seeds to do battle. They're going to get fresh legs as they move into the final. So there are a couple of advantages, but maybe being that low seed, you get to get your feet in the wax. We say that all the time, but it's so true. Maybe a couple more reps get you more comfortable. Here goes Owen.
Owen Wright in motion, 6'3". He's got a bigger wingspan than Michael Phelps as he's driving through that lip line section. He'll be heading to the Olympics this summer as he's been working on his small wave game. For such a tall human being, he could get incredibly low on that backhand tube.
Can say that again.
This is the board that really entered into his life because of a dream where Kelly Slater told him what dimensions to work with, and he actually worked it out with Darren Hanley. Still riding it the last couple of events this season. Slams on the brakes. Looks like he's got a great view of that tube. Here comes the finish. Big backside hammer. Room for a bonus. Drills it shut. Great composure. Owen likes it.
Great surfing from Owen, and you talk about the dream that he had getting the dimensions from Kelly, and also a few events ago actually riding Matt Wilkinson's boards and kind of going off a copy of that. And just another point on Owen, I mean, his place at the moment on the championship tour, you have to think about him missing out at Pop to be there for the birth of his daughter, and obviously a veteran on tour, but really prioritizing that family moment for him. So he knows he's got ground to make up here in the last 3 events of the season, and I've got faith in Owen. He does so well at the Surf Ranch, and this is a great example of him doing well.
I like that call. It's sort of someone where you see him at 25th and you're still just not worried about him. The way he's surfing, he looks like he's in incredible form. Exciting day of action here on opening day, a blazing hot Friday, and it's Owen Wright's turn once again to take on the left here at the Surf Ranch. He had a 6.9 on his first left. That's what he's trying to improve on to move up on the leaderboard. He's in 3rd right now behind Yago Dora because he just dropped to 7.37 on his last right to improve. Punching the fins out, controls it into a beautiful forehand carve. Nice snap, incredible variety. The flow is spot on. Blows the tail out again. So a ton of risk already for Owen Wright. When you're hanging the fins out on a wave that moves this quickly, you're risking it all like he did right there. I think he felt so comfortable with that maneuver, Rosie. He felt confident on that section to bring it back around. Had to go for it to improve on a 6.9, but I really love the start. It was one of my favorite starts to the left so far from the Goofies because he did so much out of the gates.
He did. I mean, the variety too. Throwing those fins off the bat again. So Owen, a bigger guy on tour, lanky, like you mentioned. He's got a bigger wingspan than Michael Phelps, but he never complains about feeling too big for this wave. So it's just great to see the way that he fits his body in this wave, mixes up a bit of variety there, throws the fins, but then also buries the rail a couple times. Like you said, he's got to improve on a 6.9, but already 3rd on that leaderboard. So he started off with a solid couple of scores. So I don't know if he's going to improve on that left, the 6.9, or he didn't improve, but yeah, he's done well.
4.7 for last of Owen Wright, so really getting docked for missing the back half of the wave on the left, but well done to sit in 3rd, just behind Dora and just ahead of Kelly. Adriano with 7 big career event wins from Sakurema to Margaret River over John in the final to beating Kelly in perfect conditions at Super Tubos in Peniche. Also a Pipe Masters trophy that he was able to take along with his world title trophy in 2015. An emotional win at Baja da Tijuca over Taj Burrow. That maiden win over Chris Davidson and Mundaka. The list goes on and on. What a legend of the sport and his send-off season. And it looks like he's been enjoying the ride. More smiles, more happy energy, I think, than we've ever seen from Adriano in his career.
Yeah, he's just enjoying and savoring these last few events. I saw that his wife's here in California with him, so trying to make the most of it. I mean, he's had such an amazing run. He's so accomplished, so well respected by his peers, and it's just so cool to see him kind of a bit more relaxed and free in his surfing and his approach.
Might as well sit in the tube all day long when Lemore's getting over the 100-degree mark. Found some shade and traveled for a lengthy period of time. There's the fin throw to Souza. Lay back off the top. How casual was that? As he just flows so beautifully into this inside pocket. Big section. There's the grab rail, throw tail punt to finish. De Souza enjoying that finishing move. Well done. Maxing out the tube ride and incredibly explosive on the end section.
Yeah, cool to see. And also, that wave just looked a little bit different to the other ones we've been talking about. Sometimes that first barrel's been crumbling. That thing stayed wide open. He got super deep. So cool to see Adriano kind of get one of those little diamonds in the rough out here. Oh, man. So ADS setting it up. He knows this wave well. I think he surfed in every event that we've had out here at the Surf Ranch. From the Future Classic, that was the first event that we saw, up until this event. So he spent some time in the shade. He knows how to get super slotted.
And then just springed into action. I loved every part of this inside track. Every turn was different and explosive, and he looked so comfortable. Didn't look like he was in a rush at all.
Yeah, and comboed it up too. That's important. Like that variety and the depth in the barrel, and then finishing it off with this maneuver. Hold on to that grab. Those legs are burning, and he turns it around. So a well-executed wave.
Well, what's so special for Adriano is he threw down at such an incredible finish. A lot of alley-oops are done by the regular footers. He went frontside punt, tail high. Even though he held onto the grab for the finish, not many maneuvers are performed like that. And we're getting a bit sentimental about Adriano taking off. I mean, he qualified back in 2006. And there was one special event that we'll never forget that happened in Mexico. And Adriano was a rookie at the time.
I mean, that 8.5 in his scoreline. Loving the little clips and hints that the surfers are dropping. Yago, watching him on Instagram, you knew he was going to do something special here.
He's always had that sort of mystique, kind of zen Jerry Lopez vibe, but the way he's been roaring on his big airs and looking at the crowd, he's got some bravado in there too, which is kind of unique to his character. A little balance of fire and super zen-like performance as he's going to be rooting on De Souza here. Switching shapers throughout the years. Been riding a lot of Chile surfboards this season. Love the flow down the line. Nice backside wrap. Adriano frames it perfectly with the backside vert. Backhand punch off the roof again, and he'll down carve. I love that rail transition. Hammers it off the lip. Lofty little backhand float. A maneuver you don't see done too often over that hollow pit. Now he's just going to have that classic backhand tube style, burning off some energy. What's he got left? Little tail slide goes away from him. But doing a great job to mix it up a bit down the line. Chasing some big points to ensure that he's in the next round. You know, he wanted a little bit more on that end section, but had some beautiful turns throughout this ride.
You mentioned it, just the transition turns that he did, the way that he mixed up those rail lines on this one. I love Adriano's backhand. It's so solid, so silky smooth. Just a couple S turns here, waiting for that wave to stand up. The way that he read this little section, did that down carve into the float, and just left a little bit on the inside here. I mean, you look at his right, he's got a pocket of 7s, so the left was really a sort of weakness for him, especially in this in this leaderboard situation, you have to count a right and a left. So, you know, he's got a lot to improve on there. He's got a lower score, so he's still going to see himself jump through the leaderboard.
So you see before that left sitting in that 14th position, and we'll see where he moves now. 783, big number that he had previously. Yago Dora being patient because he's got to be. You kind of everything's worked out for you at this stage. You get a nice little heads up when a wave's running through. You know how to stay calm. It's unlike any other experience in the ocean where you've always got to have your eyes on the horizon. He's taking the deep breaths. Already look at the score line. Dora already second on the leaderboard from his first run. What are you expecting here, Ro?
Huge things. I mean, he's got such a massive score. He can kind of let his hair down, or he could elect to kind of let the legs breathe a little bit. We know how much energy this wave takes out of you. But this is the point where he has to improve. He's got the 5.87. He's got the 8.5 on the... Wow, he's getting super deep. Does he come out?
That section has played havoc on a lot of surfers throughout the day. Not just goofy footers, regulars as well. He did that well. Just get out of there and rifle off. Now 3-4 turns. No time in between maneuvers. Just beautiful footwork off the bottom and off the top. Now slowing things down. Beautiful backhand technique. Frames it up where his shoulders are square for the exit. Going for a little backhand fin throw. Loses his footing but still rides away. That was like a little on-the-face judo.
I love it. I mean, the core control to get that foot back on the board place. Obviously, the judges are going to be like, eh. But I think Yago, you watch him, he's so silky smooth, but he's still got that level of excitement. He's got that kind of Gumby approach. He still fits into the wave well. He's taller, but he still just manages to make it look so effortless, even though you know the power that he's packing into every maneuver.
So much great energy sending to De Souza, wearing his jersey as well. To get that low and hold that position is quite incredible.
Definitely, and all that off-season training paying off to kind of origami himself into that barrel. He just folds up his body and stuffs himself as far back as he can go.
Such a fine rhythm for Yago Dora, trying to keep that seat in second. We'll see if he'll question the lead of Kanoa Igarashi as scores are drifting in. And the Jeep Surf Ranch Pro, presented by Adobe, continues. Years ago, back when Kelly and the team were building this entire place, it was a top secret operation. And they chose Lemoore as a site because they're like, well, if it doesn't work, we could just kind of move on and no one will know what we were getting up to. Well, obviously it worked and it's here to stay. We've had big events ever since. As we look at Yago Dora, already in motion on the left, nice turn off the lip. Driving hard off the bottom. Remember, he's trying to improve on an 8.5. Big fin throw reverse. Loved how he mixed it up above the lip. Right into a big vertical snap. There's the carve. Silky smooth. All kinds of variety down the line here. Springing above the lip. There's the slob. Lands on the roof, but incomplete. Riding away. But there's that creativity from Dora. It's like you're watching his own surf movie every time he competes with a jersey. I mean, that's a dream collaboration. That's what you want to be like, a free surfer in a jersey. Nothing looks manufactured. There's no safe surfing. What'd you think, Rosie?
I loved it. I mean, Yago is one of those guys that you watch surfing and you're like, oh, that's so beautiful and just fluid and everything is just so languid. His style is just so amazing to watch. You almost get a little bit jealous because he makes it look so easy, but I like the point of difference that he's bringing. He's throwing maneuvers above the lip in different sections, and like I said, he makes it easy. That center of gravity is always completely balanced. He lands so smooth and mixes up the approach, so it keeps you guessing. And then you mentioned that slob grab there and just gets hung up on the roof. Doesn't quite ride out of it, but it's a glimpse of what we can expect.
Feels like you can hear music when you watch him surf. There's something about a rhythm or a dance or that flow that he brings to you. What kind of song is he listening to right now?
Oh man, I don't know, but I want to hear it. I want to feel it myself because that just like, he's making that look fun. It's like when you watch someone surfing and it gets you fired up to go out yourself, I think that's the epitome of being inspirational and getting that stoke level up. And yeah.
We know Yago's accomplished a lot of things, wild card performances, taking down world champs, but there's something different about this season for Yago. He's won the U.S. Open of surfing. He's done well to get key waves and pipeline in a short period of time. But this year, there's something incredibly dangerous about him. He's got the fight in him, like that true competitor that his dad probably brought out of him. Originally, he wasn't really concerned with competitive surfing, and all of a sudden you realize this turnaround of a free surfer profile. He's got that heart of wanting to be a world champion one day. Morgan Cibilic, the most sensational rookie that we've had on tour this year. Talked to him at the start of the season. It was like, well, how do you like being an underdog? And he said, I absolutely love it. I don't think he can help it though now, because his profile has completely changed. What a feeling for a rookie, especially when you're, being compared against high-profile rookies like Jack Robinson, to be in the final 5 picture with a shot to be a lower trestles this year.
Well, I called him a rabid animal that's been set on the tour this morning, because it's just been unbelievable to watch. I think at Merriweather he came in with a broken toe and you're like, oh, how's he going to perform? And then he took out John. He just decimated the field. He's in the top 5 as a rookie. His first showing here at the Surf Ranch. Let's see what he's capable of.
What would that mean if a guy went from 5th to a world title on one day, getting past 4th, 3rd, 2nd, and 1st in the world? Is that going to happen this season? What a remarkable effort that could be. So many different scenarios. Cibilic, great timing on that forehand hack. Taking out John Florence in back-to-back events on the east coast of Australia this year. And wasn't done after that, made the final at Strickland Bay. Nice big vert there for Cibilic. Jams it once again. Beautiful carve, using some open face. Right back off the pocket with that big frontside hack. Down carves. Burns off some speed for the pit. There's that tube vision. He's got to perform now. One last turn, maybe a bonus second. Good for 2 big moves. And still had plenty left in the tank. Great performance from Cibilic on the right-hander.
Yeah, he's so steadfast in his ability. He knows what his strengths are. He doesn't surf out of himself. Yeah, Morgan's just that solid guy. He's just going to work, getting it done. A lot of pressure coming into this event. And as a rookie on tour, you don't get many reps or many opportunities here. So Morgan doing well. Let's see if the judges agree, though.
He did mix it up a bit and threw down some big power moves. How'd you like the changes in between turns?
I love those rail turns. I think that's what's important here, is to really bring that down carve down and rely on that rail all the way and make it a single maneuver. Don't cut it short and try and look to the next move. Really concentrate on what's in front of you before you move to the next thing.
And then able to get 2 big moves. Sometimes you're thinking it's got to be in air, and Morgan's showing that there's room for a little bit more power on the end of that long right-hander. Morgan Cibilic enjoying that 5th spot at the moment in that final 5. I mean, his only goal would be to try to secure that, as seeding can change. This is stop 6. We still have Mexico and Tahiti on the calendar to work it out. Mexico now moved to August, if you saw that update on WorldSurfLeague.com. Right into the event to see rookies perform in Tahiti. And when you look at guys like Jack Robinson, he's going, okay, I can't wait for that event to make a big push. At the moment, for Jack, it's about requalifying. That's what's so fun about these last couple of stops. Mexico has a little bit of an unknown factor, especially for goofies. When we remember the search event back in 06, there were no goofies in the final series back then, but it's a whole new crop this year. And then Medina, again, the guy to beat in Tahiti as well. Cibilic now is counting a 6.67. Needs to improve on the 4.23 and a 5.77. We'll get him where he needs to be for the moment. Getting some flow going down the line. Another one of those surfers that moved to sharp eye equipment before the start of the season. Beautiful snap there. Big straight up vert, but he'll get hung up. That one's going to stop short. And so being in 13th there, might be having to keep that lower score of the 4.23. But it looked like he really wanted just to hammer that big section. He has so much power. And his timing is brilliant. Unfortunately, that big explosive turn cost him the rest of the ride.
Yeah, and you see him kind of building up to that moment. He starts getting that momentum, does a couple maneuvers down the line, feeds those fins a few times, and then he gets kind of comfortable. He wants to lay a bit more rail on this turn. Lays into that one, gets more critical right there. You know that moment's coming. That has been such a tricky section for surfers on the left-hander.
Cibilic just digesting what just went down after his second run. Remember, each run consists of 2 waves, one right, one left. So the qualifying round, you have 2 runs, and you just keep your best left and your best right. If you finish in the top 2 of your heat, you're guaranteed to get a bonus, no matter what the numbers look like. So in your 6-man heat, if you finish in the top 2, you'll get that extra shot. One more right, one more left to try to make improvements. And you definitely see an evolution in even Medina's wins. You know, his scores improved dramatically from 2018 to 2019.